Hello and welcome once again to What's Going On. I'm Arcturus and we're here on the Forerunner server to bring you the latest in what's going on in Watcher of Realms. As ever, this is a community-based podcast, so please do remember to like, share, hype and subscribe because it really does help grow the channel. This week, I'm joined again by Sebastian Kane. It's going to be a bit of a shorter one because there's not been a lot of stuff around landing on the Forerunner server to bring you. But obviously, we've got the impact of the patch which arrived on global and some of the impact that's had on the game and what we're bringing with that. So, first of all, obviously, we've got some WuKong back. This is a great opportunity for those of us who didn't get into A5 previously to have some fun in games, build him up to the next level. So, yeah, I've taken this opportunity to get mine to A5, so now it's just a case of tweaking timings to try and push my Abyss teams into that next level up.
Yeah, so now that they've rolled out the WuKong banner so many times, you know that there is a hero coming in the pipeline that will replace him.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were frustrated that they went for WuKong rather than Kigiri, because Kigiri has only ever been run once.
Yep.
And he's obviously got as
once, and then the other one was a choice.
Yeah, the pick your own.
Yeah, the pick your own. So I guess in a sense twice, and I know that a lot of people, at least in my guild, pick Kigiri if they weren't trying to fill the Rolodeck. So yeah, that everything with how everything is playing out, I just think that this was their chance that they saw that if they could roll out WuKong one more time, make a little bit of cash out of it, and then bring in the next set of heroes that they're planning on setting up for Zerbus, for example, and then try to drive that there. So I think that that's kind of the progression as to how they're seeing this layout for this quarter and the next one.
Yeah, because obviously Matrix being the next big content, and he's WuKong primarily single target. I mean, he's got his little clones; they do some damage, but they're not really that great for them. But he is going to help anyone who's trying to push Matrix and get decent scores in that. But overall, I think he's going to be an interesting addition to the team. Okay, so Sebastian, obviously, Matrix is obviously a very big piece of new content. WuKong isn't exactly the best hero for it. Because he's got his little clones, they do some things, but they're not exactly able to put out enough AoE damage to take on the spawns that are coming in from the side. But he will help you push your Abyss scores. He'll help you get to that 60k threshold, which is a big target for a lot of people. And and generally he's a great hero. There's not much content where you can use him that he doesn't shine.
Correct. He is the hero that I think for many accounts, especially now with 3 banners, and if you were able to get him to at least A3. So let's say a free-to-play player got really lucky with all these different banners and they've been playing for us that long, push them to A3. Now you're kind of in the sweet spot where you can at least start pushing Abyss 1 into the 35,000 range if you have the other heroes to go alongside it. And also, when we started, we didn't have this hero to hit Nightmare 4. So some of those people that are progressing, he just facilitates that and to push into those levels too. So again, it's just one of those things that he is one of the favorites when it comes to pushing single target content, and that's just the way that the developers decided to put this together and focus on him, and then maybe Kigiri later with another hero.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously he's one of the most famous characters within Chinese mythology, so he is going to be a pretty powerful character. So, he's great fun to play with. And yeah, I'm glad to see him back. I did say I've been fortunate enough to have a couple of soul stones I've been able to put in, and as I say, mine is now A5, and it's just a case of really finding where's the best place. For a single target arena, he does really, really well. Obviously, you've got the Scytherer, spawn blocking issue that's now crept into the game with her summon. So that's slightly problematic, which has reduced the impact of the Watcher meta, but it's always good to have him on the back burner because he's still a very valid character. And there's no promise that the devs won't do something about Scytherer and her little minion.
Yeah, I'm gonna bookmark that the comment that you made about Arena, because I always want to bring it up to the attention of anybody that is willing to listen. So don't forget to bring that back up. But we can wrap up this and then move on to the other stuff. But I do want to talk about that situation going on right now with single target Arena.
I think the other thing I liked about the Sun WuKong was the fact that they had this kind of like mini Void Rift story mode going on with it. Well, I think it just added a bit more fun to it. It was a bit of exploring, a bit of story, and it was rather than just doing the linear, you do a battle here, you do a battle here, you do a battle here. It's actually, you got to run around and get the rewards and do things. And then you can have this Lotus aspect thing where you book different builds on him, which comes into real play in the next stage of the boss battles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just change it up a little bit, add the vulnerability, add all this other stuff that just boosts your damage, and then you should be able to get to the 250 a Nightmare with them in the battlefield.
It helps to remember that you can scroll this bar, because I completely forgotten about this.
You gotta go. You can go all the way.
The last couple of days. But it doesn't matter. I think I got 600 yesterday, and then I screwed up my gearing today, so I didn't manage to get as high. But anyway, it's done. I've got enough. I've got most of the things in that shop anyway, so missing out on 500 isn't going to kill me. Right, so that's kind of Sun WuKong. He's back. He's good fun. Moving on, obviously, we've got the zombie invasion back, and I think the changes they've made have been pretty good overall. The fact that you can have a look at what the sub skills are available for each of the talents is quite nice, because it helps you think about how you would want to build it, and it's giving you the idea you can have multiple. You can see what the ultimate powers are when you get them highly awakened. I think in the previous iteration you couldn't get 2 maximum awakened skills, and this time they've allowed that, so that's really good. But yeah, I think overall it's been pretty good. It's changed up what it was, because previously it was all about the frost and speed, the scatter shots kind of combo, trying to get the speed as high as possible. I don't think the speed is scaling properly within the skills, and when you do have a skill which revolves around killing units to build speed, sometimes the game gets confused and lowers the speed back down, which is not what the skill description implies is going to happen.
Okay, so so they did change a lot of it. Okay. I have not tried it yet, so I'm gonna see if I can spend some time on this and see how they changed it. But I'm hearing good things so far from it. There is one particular skill that they say that if you can get the resonance for it, like level 15 or whatever it is, apparently supposed to boost your damage so much.
this dark tide is the stitch pull. That's really, really powerful, because it's got pushback and it's a massive hit to the incoming minions, and it can clear out entire waves. It's definitely the best one that I've come across. It's the scattershot one with its AoE blast can be quite good too, but it's not as powerful as that. But you can see here, so people aren't even putting any effort into the physical skills anymore. So it's all about getting the light skills and the dark skills and the fire combo. Because as well, they've now introduced potions. It's a bit annoying that you can't actually see the potions that they make available. That in the potion shop there are special potions, one of which increases. So you can have like synergies between different skills, which is quite nice. So you can have fireballs coming in during the boss stages, or you increase AoE damage, or You can have one where you summon this phoenix that blows hurricanes across the field, which is actually basically the different ways of getting the awakenings of other skills if you buy the right potions in the shop.
So, like this mini game within the game, I'll give them credit for it that they did find like a little gold mine here that people are really intrigued by, and they do like to participate in this. I think that this one actually might be even more interactive for some people than United Front. Because in the United Front, you actually may need some heroes if you really want to push the leaderboard. And this one here is all about you just getting the right combination with the right RNG, and it's not depending on your roster. It's like everybody can participate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's true roguelike tower defense where you're just depending on luck and how you build and go, and like having a build in mind and pursuing that build to get to push as far as you can. And it's a time sink. The trouble is it's a bit of a big time sink because once you start pushing up to the higher levels, you're looking at 15, 20-minute battles, and it's just being able to have that, set that time aside to dedicate to something like this.
Hey, and some people might have the time to do that. So, I mean, kudos to them. And it's just like before we started, some people probably spent hours in service trying to find the right combination to try to, push a chest or whatever it is that they were going after. So, kudos to them if that's how they want to spend all their time in game. So, if that's what
absolutely, I mean, it's good. It's good fun.
If that's what the developers meant by we want to minimize the grinding and then give you all this stuff, I guess, then okay, fine. I guess that's the way that they want to pretty much shift the focus of the game. So.
So, other than watching me play through for 15 minutes, which I don't think is a good use of anyone's evening, I think we can probably have a quick look at, obviously new content, all the stuff around Malric's Halls, which we've covered previously. Zerbus has finally arrived on Global, and, well, seeing some interesting metas arrive. The rise of the Crach meta. A5 Crach showing his skills in some of the highest scoring battles on the global server, which is not entirely surprising because he's basically the physical version of Beatrix, and Beatrix has been very, very good in the Bulwark form. And yes, so it's obvious he would do well in that. But there's a lot of people who are probably regretting selling him at this point.
Yeah, we warn people. Crach could get buffed, or there could be something on the pipeline where he might become effective in. There used to be a time where you could probably use him in Guild Wars, not anymore. Now people here are finding a way to use him here in the Spellbane form. I was going to say in terms of the cast of heroes that are being used here. I mean, there are some that are rising in terms of in the how valuable they are. Well, I'm not going to say tier list because each one of these heroes are doing their own thing, but we have the Northerners kind of making a little bit of a play with Ardea, Elder, Erlis. Esrin, they're classifying it as the Esrin cheese, given that his talent is allowing him to tank that hit. I keep saying that they're gonna find a way to get rid of that. I'm pretty sure of it. They're going to either add a timer to that talent, or they're going to make it like you cannot proc him more than 2 times in a battle or something like that.
So, no. It'll be even easier. It'll be highest HP ground unit.
Or that. Yeah. Take the platform thing about. Yeah. That could. Yeah. The talent
it's the easiest fix for it.
I guess. So, yeah. You know what? I didn't think of that. They would be the highest HP ground tile unit. Yeah. All right. That would be one way to do it. Code it. If they can code it. But Esrin is having a play, so enjoy him while you can. And I guess all the other stuff in the Bulwark form is just the cultist, right? So all this hype, all this hype for this new lore cultist coming in, it's going to increase it. So
Yeah, I mean, Demi is great to play with in this because she's got such a big area of effect, and she's able to control them really nicely. And then when her ultimate ticks off, it's a good way of bam, 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 bam. Especially when it's in the whatever phase it is. Let me just double check the skill name. It's in the chain fission phase, so when he starts channeling up. So if you can get that ticking over, she'll pretty much solo aside there. If that's a really good way of controlling it. I had been trying Fenris on the Spellbane form, but he just doesn't have the damage output, and he's not boosting his allies enough to really make him shine. So I think there's definitely some work to do on that. Obviously, Beelzebub, fantastic control, inspiration.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good. It's good all rounder there. And yeah, Valara. Everyone knew that Valara was going to be excellent because she's just excellent everywhere. So yeah. But the interesting thing about this is like one of the top scores that's up on Global. So you've got a team here on the physical side. You need 6 healers or inspiration unit to do 2/3 of what the physical side is doing. Sorry, so what the magic side is doing. That's just incredible to have that level to build that level of survivability in, that you're needing that much insanity to keep it going. So.
Then the side issue with all of this has been the constant discussion right now whether this is, that balance between hard content and impossible content, and how people are perceiving this as being, whether it's attainable right now, and what is really going to be the driving force here to try to push past that 100,000 mark, because right now that's the high, it's 110. So the first chest, or that chest, is 100,000 pushing into, what's the next one?
100,000, 120,000. I thought someone was getting close to that, but yeah, I think 114, 115,000 I've seen on the leaderboard recently. So yeah, people are getting there, but these are these are mega whales accounts. Yeah. These are not attainable by regular players.
So,
and honestly, the rewards for the amount of effort you're putting into that, for 100,000, you are getting a chance of that, and you're not even going to get the bonus reward because you need everyone in your guild to be doing at least that sort of level of damage. That's just insane.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what Medium, I think, is the user's name, right? The screenshot that you share from Mad. So that's going to be my curiosity, is to ask that person, how much time did you spend to get that chest? And, formulating the placements and getting the ults off and everything. And when you open up that chest the first week, are you going to look at it and say, yeah, this was worth it, I'll take it? Because we're not talking about full essences or crystals or anything to level. It's fragments. We're talking about fragments that you have to build over time, over weeks, for you to get one full one, if that, at least with these chests. So that's going to be my curiosity. Now, the guild, like Mad, they're going to say, yeah, everybody push to 100,000. You're expected to do it because that's the type of guild that they are. But I'm thinking about, as you start moving down the ladder into the 20th, the 30th guild, they're going to be looking at this and saying, is it really going to be worth the effort? So there is that balance.
The time that takes to achieve that.
Yes.
That chest. The only thing that's in there, which is unique, and then you don't even get it in week until if you roll gold 3 times, is going to be the recast hammers. And Destined has shown that the recast hammers are trash.
Yes,
anyway, because you're not guaranteed to get a better roll.
No.
You could spend your time doing level 2, level 3 Malrix, and you would get better rewards for your time than trying to push high on this content, and that's a problem.
So, like my experience with the reroll these new hammers, especially for the ancient pieces, would be I would take a piece that I had in the test server that had 2 blues, for example, and then I would then slam it, and then for some reason those 2 blues just got stuck in that 2 blue range. So I don't know if there was something about the particular piece of how it was coded that it really did not want to push past them. But then there was one hit where I did get, okay, perfect, 3 purples, and then the bottom one, oh, it's stuck in the blue. So then if you really want to then keep working on the piece, you might as well just take that last substat and then enhance it with the other crystal, right? Just to try to push that up. And then make it all for purple. But if you are hoping to take your best ancient piece and then hopefully you get like 3 yellows, I don't think that these ancient pieces are coded like that. You would be extremely lucky if you were to able to get that 3 gold or 4 gold hit. I think that in most situations you're going to probably get 3 out of 4, and then that 4th one you're going to have to work independently with the other resources that you're accumulating in your account. So, yeah, again, you're going to be hoping for that RNG to hit. But I do have a feeling that every ancient piece is coded to only roll, to a particular range, or the odds that decreasing once you hit a certain threshold. And then after that, it's just, you got to have that perfect hit before you can get it. So yeah, I'm glad that Destin kind of showed that, if he did show it, as to how many times it actually took for him to get that roll that he wanted. Now, in terms of the balance as to whether the effort pays off, that is all in regards to the user or the player. The major discussion going on is going back is this too hard? Is this too overtuned? Because some people are defending it. They're saying, I'm glad that this is hard. But you got to understand that the roster that we have right now is not commensurate to this. So when the next set of heroes come out, if you are going to be part of that fraction of percentage of players that want to push this to try to get that type chest, you're just encouraging them for the next piece of content that comes out to be even harder for you to then work on the next set of heroes. All right. So if you're going to encourage this is on you. And I'm calling you out right now. If you're going to push to try to get this A5 Lord because you want to get into the bulwark mode and push that as much as you can, because that's the only way that you're going to see you get up there, and then hopefully you get the right amount in Spellbane, that's up to you. But again, you're just going to keep encouraging that type of development. All right. Most of you are former Raid Shadow Legends players. At least when they released content, they kind of conformed it to the roster that was available already in game. And if you had the awakenings or the gear, or I think that they added artifacts after that. If you had all of that well developed, you could push the content. You could try to get the top score. What was happening is that when they were releasing the heroes where you could then push that content even and exceed those scores, because there was something like the clan, or whatever it is, the clan versus clan, or in Hydra, it's like a clan system where the more damage you do, the better rewards you're going to get. So at least in most of the other games that I also saw is they are releasing content that is developed for the roster that is in the game. And then they release the next set of levels, right? So this is something that Arcturus and I was like, Zerbus Matrix 1 could have been something that you can conform to what a whale or a kraken will already have, that they could possibly get to 320. They didn't have to, maybe at the beginning, maybe there's a hero that they want to release to then help that kraken push to 320. And then release Matrix 2 and maybe Matrix 3. But they're pretty much pigeonholing themselves right now and saying, is this going to be the only mode then? Will we ever see Matrix 2? They said that they were going to release Abyss 2, but I don't think that that was really what it was meant. I think that this is the Abyss 2. I don't think that they're going to Abyss 2.
To survive the Focus Strike, by the time you got to Evolution 3, you've got to be able to survive something like 180k true damage hits every 2 seconds. And so, sorry, it's not 5. It's like one. It hits 5 times. It's 180k true damage. You can't block it. You can't mitigate it. The amount of either HP that you've got to be able to you'll be able to load on a unit, or the amount of healing that you could bring to a unit would completely decimate the GVG structure entirely, because you would have units which would be functionally unkillable. Mm-hmm. Because there is nothing currently on the demon side, attacking side, that could take it down. Right. You would just have a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Kirby. Kirby is very, very good at removing tanks. This thing, a tank that can take that level of damage and survive, is going to laugh in Kirby's face. Kirby's just going to be like nibbling. Yeah. Even a maxed out 135k IFR, if A5 affiliated, he's going to be laughing.
Yeah, and this is something I do wonder if they do discuss it, because I do really think that this is all very fractionated. It's like there's a particular set of people that are focusing in arena or PvP maybe, and then there's another set of people that are focusing on all these bosses here. And I don't think that they're really talking in terms of hero design, because they're just saying, okay, we can possibly release a hero that does this. But then it screws over the guy that is working on GVG, because he just released a grotesque fin, and now there's a healer that can compensate for that. But we know that this healer here was probably more for this, to try to help the tank survive with the damage reduction and the super healing, the single target healing, right? So I don't really know what the discussions are over there sometimes in the conference room when they do discuss content, but yeah. So all right, so we're gonna have the new cultists coming in. I just want to see what the next development of the heroes that are coming out are going to be. Raizan, I know right away he was not meant for this, right? He's just a single target. He can deal with shields. I think he was just a way to complement the Nightmare faction to deal with Abyss. That's exactly why they wrote.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to help. He's another marksman who's coming into the Nightmare faction. Obviously, one of the requirements for the high levels of the Nightmare stages is you have a marksman in the team, and this is yet another option that you can bring to it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complaining that this guy's based on like the Japanese god of thunder, and he's doing physical damage, which thematically I get is problematic, but. Yeah, I think putting character designs. I think for a character design, he looked cool, but thematically, it's poor taste. So,
yeah. So I think that people are just going to pretty much use him for his the power that he does have, the strength that he does have in terms of dealing damage for Abyss 1, and that's pretty much it. He's not a GVG viable hero. I did not see him do well against the Demon Soldiers in Arena, but then again, I don't play that content enough. I mean, I think that Sitha does a better job with the single target demons than he does, so he could probably be used for Plat 2, Plat 3, but I don't see any push into Overlord with him. So if you want to push just to get him into your account, do it. The reason that I summoned for him is just to add him, to try to add him to the collection set. Because when the Nessun banner does come out, I want to make sure that I can hit the hero that I want and not necessarily this guy. So if I could get him out of the way, that would be the reason I would probably summon for him. But aside from that, I mean, if you already have Abyss 1 covered, you don't really need to go for him. So
well, I was chasing Yuri because I really need without Lady A in my anti-air team. I needed I need her to sort of help me push. I mean, I'm doing okay with my surprise Kai, which still does upset a lot of people, and but up against Lady A and Valara teams, it's really difficult to try and compete. So I need Yuri to sort of add that spice back in stage 2 and stage 4 to just give me that bit more survivability.
Yep. Yeah, try to speed that up a little bit. Yep. Yeah, I can see that as well. So So in terms of, so I just wanted to briefly talk about Arena here since we have a little bit of time to discuss this. So one of the issues that I've been working on the background, and I don't know how much of debate is in terms of Arena content is, at least for me, I'm trying to push for Lady A, is that one of the things that I was noticing, especially within the cluster, because I was actually starting to pay attention as to what people were using in terms of compositions and stuff like that, was one of the things that I was told was, oh, hey, if you're going to run this comp on offense, push it, gear it, do whatever you need. But if you're going to use it on defense, you may not want to gear this hero. And I was like, whoa, what? Say that again. And it was the whole BP discussion. So I was being told, yeah, if you lower your BP on defense, you're going to have an easier time possibly disrupting the auto run and the other one, so they're going to have to manipulate, or you're going to have an easier time clearing the waves on your side than they're going to have on their side. So I started doing some experiments, I guess, in a sense, that I started recording video, and I hit the same opponent. And some people got 3 wins out of me, but congratulations. But essentially, so what I was recording was, here is my BP, and then I compared it to theirs. I'm bringing in a unit that has higher BP, and I started looking at the damage, even though the gear was the same. And yes, there was a discrepancy, and I sent that in. And at the same time, when I was hitting similar teams that had high BP on defense and then low BP on mine, I even showed them how the auto runs were being disrupted by that particular setup. And I said, hey, there's something wrong here. So I essentially went and I asked them, how is the BP affecting my auto runs? And also, how is that affecting how much damage you're doing on both sides? I could share the screenshots if you want me to, but the first response that I got from customer service, this is not even through the CC content yet, but for
you shared this, but this is gold. Go for it.
They told me that they could not share any of the BP data because they considered that to be proprietary information. Essentially what it is this is our code. We're protecting it. We're not sharing anything with you. And I'm like, oh, all right. So here's what I can discern from your code then. And I started like different pictures, different videos. I started tagging it all this. And after we went back and forth and I told them, you guys are cheating the players, that's when I hit accord. They got back to me and they said, we recognize right now that there's definitely an issue going on when it comes to the BP on the defensive side, and we're working on it, but this is going to take a lot longer than just a patch. So at least I got him to acknowledge that there is a way that players are getting around the BP issue, defense and offense, to try to win those battles. So there is at least a step there. Okay, so they recognize the fact. Perfect. Now there's something for us to work on, and there's something for me to keep pushing on, because I do. If they can't fix this, I want them to get rid of it. And that's what I'm going to keep working on, because it frustrates me that there's going to be a set of players here that will never get Lady A. There's no chance in hell that they will ever get her, even though there should be a way for them to be able to grind that particular, content if they're at least able to get it in there. But right now, they're just, everything that they're doing it to help Krakens and whales. Essentially, that's what it's doing. That's what I'm
I think the only way that it's going to have a lot of players are going to end up getting Lady A is when she's replaced from the Apex shop and she ends up in the pool. She'll end up in the ancient pool. Mm-hmm. She shouldn't, because by that point she'll have been out phased and she should end up in the blue pool. But that's an argument for another day.
Yeah.
That's basically, you will end up with some other new mega Kraken unit who's just going to dominate everything. Someone, maybe a tank who's immune to damage for 90 seconds or something. But yeah, there'll be some, and it refreshes every 20 seconds. But yeah, there's going to be something that's going to come into the arena shop, because Lady Alex has been in there for about a year. they're going to want to refresh it. They're going to want to bring in a new character
Good
to
man.
make it because they need to keep people engaging with the content, to keep spending money to try and get the heroes to push on. And all the Krakens now, they've got their A3, they've got their A5, Lady Alex. So they're looking for the next thing. So once they've got their skin, they're not going to care. And you might see someone engaging with it arena less. I doubt it, because 2 ancients a week is good money. So
no, but here's the thing too, Arturos, and I'm going to tell you this because there have been some players that have spelled it out for me too. And they have directly told me the reason that I keep pushing arena and keep pushing into Apex Overlord is not only to get the Apex coin to try to buy out the shop, which that's fine. They want all the stuff there. But at the same time, they do acknowledge that by doing it, they're also keeping all the other players out to give them a competitive advantage on everything else that we're doing in the game. GBG, for example, right? So if you're able to take those 500 spots and not allow people to farm that, then yes, your account then remains relevant in the upper tier, and you're not giving anybody else a chance to try to get into it. So they're doing it in a selfish way, which is why the whole one-man defense thing that I brought out last time has been shut down. People don't want to do that because they want to remain up there and they want to keep people out. At the same time, yes, they want to get all those threes or whatever it is that they want, because they want the portal to look different every week. That's fine. You can do that. Then the other thing here, and I'm glad you put Thitra in the background because I do wanted to bring this point. The whole point of Arena 3.0, remember when it was released, was we want to minimize the ability for players to plug the spawn point. Guess what? They released a hero that is now allowing players to plug the spawn point. And now I have also then suggested that they should get rid of that platform. That first platform that is there for single target, they got rid of that. If their whole mission was, when they released this form of arena, was not to allow to plug the spawn point.
Yeah. And in fact, that would be actually quite problematic for a lot of players, because there's some people who put their Elo in there in order to provide healing to the units who are further back on those at the near ground tile positioning. But yeah, there are other places to place Elo in. But I mean, that was quite a favourite one there that I'd seen used quite a lot. But yeah, this is basically Yuri's sort of range, but she's doing sort of very, very powerful attacks with her Tormented Soul, and he doesn't just hit once, he's like hitting 6 times or something.
Yep.
So, yes.
Yeah, so essentially, especially on the first couple of waves, you have one, you have the second one, and then in the third, if you time that ultimate, that second one, the third one just vaporizes. He doesn't even, it just when he walks out, boom, he vaporizes. That's how strong she is with that. But that is pretty much plugging the spawn point, because as soon as that soldier comes out, damn, it's right there. Even if you were to do that with somebody else, it doesn't. The amount of damage that you need to take that unit down will take a little bit. Like Silas would need to recharge a little bit. Not only that, it wouldn't be on the first hit that he completely takes him out. She is essentially doing that. So if you have that's it. You got single target. Yeah.
You open with her to get her on the field, and then you dump Valderon to bring everyone below 70% health or whatever threshold health, and then suddenly she's got massive defense penetration as well. Jeez. Yeah, she's just vicious. Absolutely vicious.
Yep. So those are the two biggest things going on right now. That's also what I'm trying to emphasize to them too, as to how they followed that up, especially because I did go back and I said, hey, you guys said we don't want people plugging the spawn point. Hey, guess what? You're just allowing people to plug the spawn point again. So it's time to rethink about this. So, yeah. So I still, I keep telling me this is not PvP. I don't know what it is that you think that this is, but this is everything how you have it constructed. This is all just a crapshoot of manipulating BPs and now allowing plug points. So That's
when it
bad content.
as soon as they made the change so that it was the defensive BP that was the decider for the unit, that it became crap. Really, because I mean, because it allowed people to do things like BP stacking. It allowed people to do BP undershooting, which is what we're talking about here, and yeah, it's just made it unpleasant to experience in, rather than people actually setting teams that reflect their best units and pushing and using that as the basis.
And
it's all about screwing up someone else's day.
And the undershooting BP benefits her as well, because people are just bringing a Nabri in, right, and a Valderan. That's all you need pretty much is Nabri, Valderan, and her. And Dio-chan to boost. That's not a whole lot of BP. That's it. Those demon soldiers are just getting vaporized. So, listen, at least I got him off the whole is proprietaries. It's a secret. We can't tell you to, okay, yes, there's a problem. We recognize it. We're trying to fix it. But I don't see a fix coming in anytime soon. I just think that they're too stupid to figure out how to fix this thing, this stuff out.
Okay, so I don't really have much more to talk about today. Obviously, there's stuff obviously in the pipeline. We've got the Fusion event going on for Yuri's artifacts, which is always worth pursuing just to get your free artifacts. Immortal Codex, obviously Global got the updated version of the Lord of Birds, Mother of Crows, before Forerunner did, but I'm glad that they did fix it so it was actually more playable for anyone who didn't have Beelzebub, and was able to use some ground tiles as well, which was something that wasn't in the original rotation.
I think that for my Triple S run, I actually got to use Numera for it. So because of those ground tiles, so yeah, it definitely played. It at least how they changed it allowed for other heroes to come in and for you to be able to combat the whole thing about trying to eliminate them before you got blown off the map. But yeah, I noticed the difference. So at least they kind of adjusted it a little bit. But still, if you want to get high up in the leaderboards, it's all about having Lady Alexandra. That's essentially what the content is.
I went through the top 50, and if there was not a single team which didn't either have one or both of Beelzebub or Lady Alexandra.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was like one that I think had Valara, but it was like an A5 Valara. And even then, it's like really attainable units by the majority of the player base.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's an interesting map. It's interesting that the way they've set it up, so that no matter where you are on the platform tiles, you can hit the boss, which I think was probably the only fair way they could set it up. I did try Erlang, but his ultimate rotation spin, it just takes too long and he's useless. But so I've got an S on the board. I'm going to keep playing with it over the next couple of weeks to try and push my scores. But I think it's interesting content. But if you don't have Beelzebub or Lady Alexandra, just do your best and try again when you got one of them.
Then the only other
Exactly.
Then the only other note that I have is that at least in global here, with 2 weeks left on Guild Wars season, that we have found out how pesky that Emberfire and Templar is, and they pretty much have skilled defenses. So the defenses that I've been playing have been doing well. Unfortunately, though, they are weak to the Emberfire Templar, and the last 5 losses that I have had have all been due to that guy. So whoever got lucky enough to get him and then push him to level 3, level 5, they're getting around those tough defenses that have been excelling for the last 4 weeks in the global side. So it's very smart of them to throw the new demon soldiers before even the season wraps up. And that's another comment that I made, is you got to time these releases a little bit better. You just can't have people try to change the whim right at the end. And then
to be honest, it is all the Forerunners' fault. because we actually said, we turned around and said, you can't have a massive season and then straight into into Gauntlet and then straight into the next season because people are burning out.
Yeah.
And so they introduced this rest week, and then the phases have drifted apart. So Forerunner season 11 starts next week,
right?
And you're not even into Gauntlet yet. So that's how much adrift we are now.
Yeah, but they could have. I mean, there are ways to put things in the game and then just release them, right? So they could have at least waited for season 10 to wrap up, but it's all like it has to be done. We got to get it going right away. So that's the only other thing. But at least now people know that we have the rats, we have the Templars, and they're doing their thing like they meant them to do it. So it's annoying, but we have to adjust to it. So so right now that's what we're doing. We're trying to adjust to it. How we're gonna combat these guys, and at the same time try to make sure that our defenses don't fall to Kirby or to the grotesque Finn. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks.
Or get frozen to hell by glaciers and then just walk through. So
yeah, that's the other one too. Yeah, exactly. So
on the positive note, Sebastian has done testing on the new Season 11 unit and their craps, so no one has to worry about them, like their tank evaporating, Brocky evaporating to ice strikes.
Is it Frozen Drifter or Frozen? I can't remember his name. Yeah, I gotta publish.
Raiders.
Yeah, I gotta publish that if I can soon or before Season 11 starts. I sent clips to Arturus just so he could see it, but this guy here, it's for the lower ranks. He doesn't hit very hard against 130,000 broker. It's not doing what this clip is showing. I have no idea what they were thinking about doing this. So I showed him clips that I collected with Broker, and then I do have other ones with other tanks. But at least what I can tell you is that freeze the Broker has, that iceberg thing that he does, that extra shield, and the fact that he does gain the defense like Prospector predicted, it kind of reduces how much damage these guys can do to him. So yeah, it's not that worrisome right now in terms of what these guys are going to be able to do. So unless there's some other way that people figure out a way to use them, at least as of right now, I'm going to say don't invest your Void Cores on him. I don't think it's this powerful. Whatever this clip is showing, no, it's not that powerful.
I mean, that's supposedly a Draylin with final damage reduction. They're taking out there. So.
I sent you the clips. I couldn't get him to do that. I wish I could have, but they were at least level 5. So I asked for more fragments so I could push him to level 7. But I'm talking about 132k Iovar that I have the luxury of having in the test server. I affiliated them, and you saw the amount of damage that they were doing. It was like laughable.
It wasn't even a tickle. It was a joke.
Exactly. So, and I did it with the Demon Captain, and I did it without the Demon Captain. I put it in the Mage to have the Frozen, the Winter Bite to try to get him to freeze. But with how fast Rokur's Rage Regen went and how fast he was able to proc his ultimate, and then trying to add that freeze from the Mage, it wasn't really playing out. And I don't know if I also shared the clip with you of when I had somebody like, I think it was Ingrid, that I had on the top, because the keep has that turn, so you can put Ingrid there, right? So as they're making that turn and trying to shoot down Broker, and Ingrid was doing her Overlord, they fell so easily. It's like the survivability is like poof. And I'm like, this guy's not going to have enough time to do anything to a tank. So when they put this clip together, I swear, it's an ungeared tank. It has to be the way that these guys were behaving. So yeah, I'm not too scared about it.
It's disappointing. I was kind of hoping that they could bring something in to mix up the meta, and this obviously isn't it. I was kind of hoping that it would give some DPS so that the Glacier, the Frozen, the Defender, the Frost Guardian would have a bite back if you didn't already have Glacius. Now, obviously, I've invested in my Frost Guardian, but I don't have Glacius, and I still find him incredibly disappointing to run. So I think it's a case of...
No, you need Glacius for them to be effective, because we use them for some of the Lady A teams in the global server, and it's that association with the captain that makes them stronger. And that's how they survive a little bit. Yeah, and then the extra proc when you get them to level 5 of being able to apply the Winter Bite and freeze people. Yeah, all of that plays into it. So yeah, you're right. You need Glacius, unfortunately, to get those Frost Guardians to really pop as they're supposed to, or how we predicted at the beginning that we're going to pop. So yeah. But that's
so, and I've got I've opened 28 Demon Soldier chests recently because it's the end of the season, and I did manage to get the Slaughter boss on the final attack of my season 10 fight. So I went into the. So I did manage to get one of the new captains, but no Glacius for me at the moment. So I'm just pushing my my Kirby's up and playing with them under a Lord. So
yeah, so in the global account, it's vice versa for me. I haven't been able to get the Chaotic Captain, but I did get Glacius. So at least I have been able to play around with them a little bit in terms of trying to beat some of these Lady A teams that we see all the freaking time. But that's the extent of it. Yeah, it's I don't use the Frost Guardians unless I'm using them with Glacius. That's pretty much what's come down to, unfortunately. But we predicted this. It was all going to be centered around you trying to farm the composition with the captain. That's essentially what, because of the big boost that he provides these other units, and they're trying to emphasize 15%.
That. Yeah, exactly. That 15% boost is pretty significant. It makes up for a hell of a lot of missing BP if you don't have amazing units. It can really elevate you, taking it that one level up. But yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I can tell you, Tim, in terms of examine about the new Demon Soldiers that I might have is anything that might come vis-a-vis the Demanding Crusade, right? Where we get to use them and try to see if there's something that we can put together to beat a particular stage with these guys. But that's about it. I mean, in terms of GVG, it's becoming as to who has the captain units in terms of getting defenses down, and we expected that. It was going to be the next transition. It's like, here are your developmental Demon Soldiers at the beginning, and then boom, you just scale right up when you're able to hit the captains with all these other ones that we're releasing. So
I think at this point the only thing they could do is limit the usage of the demon captains to one per phase, because it was one thing to have 3 attacks with a captain when you had 8 attacks, but now you're on 5. It's most of your attacks you can use the captain on, and you've got more than one captain. So if you don't want to use the faction captain, you'll use Moore, who's got 4 attacks. So there's plenty of opportunity to use demon captains for that extra edge in a combat that we've seen so far. So yeah, but that's possibly an argument for another day.
At this point, we're just trying to play it out as best as we can, especially with the formations that we see and how we're going to encounter them. But the big difference that we've seen here is how much more of an advantage the stacked accounts gain, especially with the affiliations, right? Because having a captain unit affiliated to 138 IOR, it's very big difference from you only probably having 120 Lord that you can affiliate it with, and you're going to see the difference right? So for a lot of the top guilds, that's it. If you can match the BP to make sure that captain unit survives, and then everybody else that's going along with him survive, you're going to beat defenses down. And now with this whole martial system, is the stronger just get stronger, because if they're getting the extra attacks, they got more chances to get the demons, the mystery chests. So they're going to be able to level these guys up a little, even better. So they get more chances to score. It just plays.
The weaker players won't be able to get any rewards for Demon Soldier chests from attacking the bot towers, which we are yet to see. As soon as they go live in Season 11, I will grab some clips and we will have them on an episode. But
looking forward to that too. So,
won't see those until next Wednesday at the earliest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, that's WoRs going on this week. There's not much more else to talk about. Hopefully, we'll get some more patches coming next week. We'll get something more exciting. I did think about doing something on the Gladiator Gauntlet, but the Gladiator Gauntlet maps aren't that exciting. If people are really interested, I'll post them as a community post and people can have a look at the maps. But other than that, it's more of the same for Season 10.
Yeah, Gauntlet's going to be, if you have Valera, you're going to do okay. That's essentially what's coming out. That's what Gauntlet was.
As long as she's got a healer and no one's sending in an Fire Templar.
Yeah. The only other thing that I want to say in terms of closing this out, because I do want to see what the community thinks, is the whole issue with service and the difficulty of it. And if you are indeed in favor for it being impossible at the right now versus, releasing it to a level that would be commensurate to what the heroes that we have, and then building it up, with Matrix 2, Matrix 3, something like that. Or if this is the way that you want to see it in the future, where the content at first is just impossible and you just got to wait for you to get that hero that could possibly push it. So this is all what I'm intrigued about, because I can tell you in the background at least how things are being discussed in terms of what to make available. So I'm trying to give you a hint here without actually saying it, in terms of how things are going to be offered to you in the future. I'll leave it at that. And then this is what I want to see how it plays out. So this is what I've been saying. I'm trying to give him a chance here, but everything just seems to be all about trying to, make sure that Moontan can get some money in their coffers. So, and with this whole push about Moontan and the esports right now, because that's their heavy focus right now. So they're trying to bring in as much money so they can push that out. So that's essentially what, in terms of the company as a whole, that is their focus right now. So I can understand how they're trying to make sure that they're monetizing everything as much as they can right now.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.